Your village is attacked by deadly snakes. Everyone is terrified, families are in mourning, and people don't know what to do. Now, hold that thought. Instead of running away or screaming like normal human beings, the elders of your community come up with the ultimate solution. Let's farm the snakes. Yep, let's turn the very thing killing us into a business opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to one of the strangest, darkest, and most hilarious plays I've ever read. Buckle up, because this story is not just about snakes, it's about power, tragedy, aid, and a touch of human greed. Our story begins in the dusty heart of Kayunga village, somewhere in the African Sahara. Peaceful life is suddenly shattered when Oyer's children die mysteriously. Nobody knows what killed them. Some whisper about poison, others fear it's a strange epidemic. But one thing's for sure, terror grips the entire community. Chairman Opobo, the village leader, immediately rushes to Mzee Sekanda with the grim news. And of course, in true African village fashion, they decide to pay Oyer a sympathetic visit. Because in times of grief, elders don't just deliver bad news. They deliver it with chairs, stories, and a lot of serious head shaking. But while the villagers are busy grieving, the play does something unexpected. The spotlight suddenly shifts thousands of miles away, to London. Here we meet the Browns, a wealthy white family living in comfort. Matt Brown, the head of the household, is chilling at home when he turns on the TV. Breaking news. All the way from Africa, 3 children in a place called Kayunga have died mysteriously, possibly from snake bites. Matt is stunned. His reaction is basically, "Wait, what? Snakes are out here killing kids in Africa? Somebody has to do something." This moment is the play's way of drawing a sharp contrast. On one hand, you've got villagers in panic, trying to bury their dead. On the other hand, you've got comfortable Europeans discovering tragedy through the evening news, wineglass in hand. 2 worlds, colliding through tragedy. Back in Kayunga, Chairman Opobo and Chief Sakade sit down with Oyer's family. They're there to plan the burial of the 3 children, but also to investigate the mysterious deaths. Now, in every village, there are always theories. One elder, Opio, believes the children were bewitched, because of course, what else explains tragedy if not jealousy from the neighbors? Another elder, Lutalo, argues that it was snake bites, and Oyera, the grieving father, agrees. So now the Council of Elders gets busy brainstorming solutions. Do they call a doctor? Bring in scientists? No. Their plan is simple: clear the bushes and form committees. That's right, when in doubt, form a committee. If committees solved everything, Africa would be heaven by now. So the scene shifts again, back to London. And this time, it's not just the Browns. There's this huge charity concert called Saving Sahara happening. Thousands have gathered, musicians, activists, donors, all united by one noble cause: saving Kayunga village from the snake crisis. Mayor Richard English, leading the charge, gives one of those rousing speeches that could honestly convince you to donate your lunch money. The Browns also get busy, mobilizing funds through their church. It's a wave of goodwill, amplified by the media. TV networks blast headlines about the noble white saviors preparing to rescue Africa from, well, snakes. Meanwhile, back in Kayunga, the death toll is still rising. Villagers continue to die from what everyone is calling a snake epidemic.
It's enough to make a grown man
And then,
cry.
enter the heroes. Brother Samson and his team from Europe land in Kayunga with truckloads of aid. Clothes, shoes, bicycles, money, you name it, they've brought it. They build a storage facility for supplies, construct a hospital so villagers don't have to travel 35 miles for medical care, and, get this, they even build Chairman Opobo a shiny new iron sheet house. Yes, the man in charge gets an upgrade while the rest get bicycles. Sounds familiar, right? But the aid does work. Snake bites start to decrease, villagers get new resources, and life begins to improve. For a moment, it feels like the nightmare might actually end. Matt Brown, back in London, takes a moment to thank his partner Emmy for all the tireless work they've done. They both pat themselves on the back and reflect on how Europe should respond whenever Africa faces crises like this. Meanwhile, back in Kayunga, the elders are impressed, actually shocked, by the advanced equipment the aid workers use. They cherish the hospital and the relief supplies. To top it off, one European aid worker dies in the snake hunt and is immediately declared a hero on African soil. But then something interesting happens. The elders start looking around and realize, hey, this tragedy actually brought benefits. Villagers got bicycles, clothes, shoes, money, new houses, and even a hospital. Suddenly, the deaths don't just look tragic, they look profitable. And so the grand scheme is born. Two cunning elders hatch a plan. If snakes bring aid, why not ensure the snakes never go away? Their brilliant solution? Establish a snake farm. Yes, a snake farm. Why suffer tragedy naturally when you can manufacture it? By farming snakes, they guarantee that Western aid will keep flowing into the village. And just like that, they become the first official snake farmers of Kayunga. It's as diabolical as it is hilarious. They turn disaster into opportunity, poverty into profit. Suddenly, they're not just victims, they're entrepreneurs of suffering.
Who does that?
Back in London, the Sahara government sends the Browns an official thank you note, praising their generosity. The Browns sit happily in their decorated home, thinking the crisis is over. But then, bam, breaking news. No end to the snakes. The problem isn't solved, it's back. Matt Brown, frustrated, picks up the phone and calls brother Samson for round 2. And that's how the play ends, on a darkly comic note. The cycle of tragedy and aid, exploitation and relief continues. The war against snakes has just begun again.
Yes! What's wrong with you?
And that's the story of Yusuf Serunkuuma's satirical play, The Snake Farmers. What I love about this play is how it uses the absurd snake farming to highlight something very real. It's not really about snakes. It's about international aid, corruption, and how tragedy is sometimes exploited for personal gain. The elders turning disaster into profit? That's a biting commentary on how leaders sometimes manipulate crises to enrich themselves. And the portrayal of the West rushing in with charity concerts, speeches, and dramatic rescues? That's a satire of the performative way international aid often works.
Like, serious.
There's also a subtle commentary on dependency. Instead of finding sustainable solutions, the village starts depending on aid that comes with each new disaster. It's a vicious cycle, one that benefits some, but never truly solves the problem. And of course, there's humor running through it all. The idea of deliberately farming snakes just to keep aid coming is ridiculous, but it's also painfully believable.
What a feeling.
Yusuf Serunkuuma is a Ugandan writer, academic, and journalist known for weaving satire into his work. Through The Snake Farmers, he cleverly exposes the absurdities of both local leadership and international aid systems. His writing forces us to laugh, but also to think about serious issues of corruption, exploitation, and the politics of poverty. So that's my review of The Snake Farmers, a dark, satirical play that asks, what happens when tragedy becomes profitable? Would you start a snake farm if it guaranteed aid for your community, or would you fight to break the cycle? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into African literature, and remember, beware of snakes, especially the ones in power. See you in the next video. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in diving deeper into this book, I've left some links down in the description. You can use it to grab yourself a copy and keep the adventure going. And if you're in the mood for more great reads, don't go just yet. Click on one of the videos popping up right now that I think you'll love. And don't forget to give this review a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Every bit of support helps us grow this little community of book lovers. See you in the next one.